Yo, I'm Dreadlock Ninja and I'm going to show you how to get the best possible start in No Man's Sky. I've divided it into 3 phases and timestamped them to make it easier to navigate. Everything I show in this video is the legitimate way of doing things. If you want to cheese it, I've got 2 videos linked below you might want to watch after this one. First thing you're going to want to do is shoot some rocks to farm ferrite dust and plants to get carbon. We're going to need a lot of these 2 resources, but get at least 100 of each for now. When you aim at a mineable resource, a bar will come up showing you what you're going to harvest. Sometimes there's a second bar underneath it with question marks. This means there's another resource we could be farming, but we need to craft an analysis visor in order to unlock it. If you see a cave, make a mental note of its location. We'll be coming back to it in a moment. You can see I've pretty much spawned in the entrance of one here. As you use the mining beam, your multi-tool will heat up. As it does, you can see the damage increasing. What you want to do is come on and off the trigger to keep it hot without letting it overheat. This will significantly speed up your farming times. Open your inventory and repair the scanner on your multi-tool. Go across to the exosuit, craft 1 carbon nanotubes. Then back to your multi-tool, select an empty slot and install the analysis visor using the carbon nanotubes we just crafted. On the screen now is a list of all the materials you're going to need. The left side shows what you need just for phase 1, and on the right side you can see the materials that you need to follow the entire guide. Now find a cave if you haven't already and use your analysis visor to scan the stalactites. You will receive some units, and if there was a secondary resource, you're now going to harvest that as well. Whilst in the cave, grab at least 50 cobalt. Later in the video I'll show you how to create more cobalt using a refiner. Whilst farming you might get some of these geodes. You can analyse them in your inventory and that's going to give you more resources. Then craft 5 ion batteries. These can be used to recharge your shields. Next we want to perform a scan. This allows you to see what resources are around you. They show up as their chemical abbreviation, so sodium as Na. You can also use sodium to recharge shields, dihydrogen as H, oxygen as O2, condensed carbon as C+, and deuterium plants as a leaf symbol, and these plants give you 10 seconds of free jetpack use. You should now have the coordinates for your ships to make your way over there. The fastest way to travel on foot is to melee while sprinting, quickly followed by holding the jump button to use your jetpack. On the way there, harvest the rest of the materials you need for this phase. You can recharge your mining beam through the quick menu. Always use condensed carbon if you have it, as it will cost you less in the long run. Along the way, keep looking through your visor. You will see these red dots. That means there's wildlife that we need to scan. If you scan and upload all of the fauna on the planet, you get rewarded with nanites. Scanning all the wildlife on the first 2 planets we visit should give you enough to follow the entire guide with some left over. To see how many species are on your current planet, go to the Discoveries tab. You can see where and when they're active, and it's also where you can upload them once they've been found. Once you get to your ship, interact with this piece of broken machinery, get through the text, and then head into your inventory, craft 2 metal plates, 6 dihydrogen jellies, and 5 life support packs. Open up the build menu and build a portable refiner. You'll need carbon to fuel it. Again, always use condensed carbon if you have it, and then refine 50 ferrite dust into pure ferrite. I just stuck the whole stack in there as we're going to need loads more later on anyway. Jump back into your ship, and once you get through the dialogue you're able to begin repairs. The launch thruster needs dihydrogen jelly and the pure ferrite that we're refining, and the pulse engine needs a metal plate and a hermetic seal, which is the only thing that we don't currently have. Get back into your ship, get through the text, and it will send you back over to the machinery, which will give you a planetary chart. Use the chart and it will mark the location of the hermetic seal on your HUD. You'll come across things like damaged machinery and cargo drops when you're exploring. You need to repair these damaged components by removing something. In this case it's residual goop. You can either harvest it or destroy it. We're going to take it because we can refine it several times, eventually turning it into nanite. You can also get rusted metal from these, which can then be refined into ferrite dust. Then head inside this building and grab your hermetic seal. Before you set off into space, be sure to pick up your portable refiner, then install the hermetic seal, and we're ready for takeoff. Now we're on to phase 2. Fly into space, and once you get there you'll be prompted to test out the ship's controls. Once you've done this you'll receive a call, and after that it's going to mark a new location on your HUD. On your way there, keep an eye out for asteroid belts. You can see here it will flash up really quickly whilst I'm using my pulse drive, so when you see it just stop and head straight back. Use your proton cannon to shoot the asteroids, and you're going to mine tritium, you need that to fuel the ship, and you're also going to get silver, gold and platinum. I find that some asteroid belts don't give out as many precious metals as others. The first one I went to wasn't very good, so I went to a second one, and now you can see I'm getting loads more gold and silver here. You can also get these gold nuggets which you can analyze in your inventory to extract even more resources. In total, you need around 300,000 units worth of precious metals, which we're going to be selling in a minute. We also need to separate 30 gold and silver that we're going to be using for crafting, and then head on towards that red marker. The materials you need for phase 2 are on the screen now. The marker won't be at the exact location that you're looking for. If the weather's good, you can usually scout the objective from your ship, but this time we're looking for some damaged machinery, and that can be quite hard to see. So in this case, what you want to do is land near the marker. I saw this landing pad to use, which means I won't use any fuel to take off. Then open your visor and use the target sweep mode to guide you to the objective. Along the way, you want to farm all the ferrite dust, carbon and dihydrogen we need for this phase, and remember to scan all the wildlife you see and upload them to get your nanites. When you get to the damaged machinery and interact with it, it will teach you how to make a base computer and a terrain manipulator. Jump into your exosuit's inventory, craft 4 projectile ammos, 9 carbon nanotubes, 2 dihydrogen jelly, then place your portable refiner, refine all of your carbon into condensed carbon, then refine 40 ferrite dust into pure ferrite, and then again into magnetized ferrite. Pick up your refiner and then make 2 hermetic seals, 7 metal plates and 2 starship fuel. Go over to the multi-tool tab and install the terrain manipulator. This allows us to mine mineral deposits and dig up buried technology. Use your visor and you can see mineral deposits as a diamond symbol. On the right hand side you can see what resources are available on your planet, and you need to focus on the marker to see which one of these it is. Salvage data, which we also need, is the Wi-Fi symbol, and you can find other points of interest this way too. Now head towards a copper deposit and equip your terrain manipulator. When mining, you can change the size of your beam. You want the smallest possible option. It will take longer to harvest the entire deposit, but you're going to get a lot more resources for your effort. When you need to recharge, use silicate powder. This is what you get from just shooting the normal ground with the manipulator. About halfway through, pop down your portable refiner and start refining some of that copper into chromatic metal whilst you finish farming. We need at least 365 chromatic metal for this phase, which is 730 copper. Then pick up your refiner, install the bolt caster on your multi-tool, and now we can protect ourselves if we need to. Our next objective is to build a base. Whilst you find your ideal location, interact with all the knowledge stones that you come across to learn new alien words. I'll show you another way you can learn alien words later in the video. You also want to dig up all the buried technology you come across. They give between 2 and 4 salvage data each, and we can use that to unlock new blueprints. I found this nice flat spot to build my base. Once you've placed your base computer, interact with it to claim that base. Then interact with it again, and this time you're going to download some building blueprints. I like to build a little bit away from the base computer, otherwise if you teleport here without there being a landing pad, your ship can spawn in all sorts of awkward places. Whilst you're building your base, a storm will come in, even if you're on a paradise planet like I am. Once you've finished building, place your refiner inside and then put the rest of your copper in there to refine. Then head back to your base computer. You're going to see this as being a bit of a recurring theme now, and this time you want to download the blueprints for a construction research unit, and this then allows you to learn even more blueprints. We need to learn the teleport module, the biofuel reactor and the electrical wiring. It will then tell you to rename your base, anything will do. Then you want to build your teleporter and generator, connect them with a cable and power up with condensed carbon. For some reason the animation isn't showing on mine at the moment, I think it's just bugged out. Interact with your base computer again, and this time it's going to send you up to the space station. When you get up here, come to the left hand side and you'll find a teleporter that you can use to get back to your base, and then 3 NPCs that you're being prompted to speak to. The first one is the cartographer. He usually sells these maps. You can buy specific ones for 100 nanites or random ones for 15. There's the envoy, who gives out rewards for ranking up your standing with the different life forms and factions, and the mission agent who, believe it or not, gives out missions. This is a good way to earn rewards and make credits early on. Once you've spoken to those three, open up your ship's inventory and move the 30 gold and silver we separated a minute ago to your exosuit inventory. Then come over to the trade terminal and you want to sell all the gold, silver and platinum that's left in your ship. This should give you enough units to buy 5 microprocessors and 2 wiring looms. If you see any materials you need, feel free to buy them with any units you have left over. I mentioned earlier that there's another way you can learn alien words, and that's by requesting dialect help from the aliens that you meet along the way. You need to learn 30 words in order to complete one of the steps later on, so I recommend speaking to every alien you come across until that milestone complete screen pops up. You can also practice your language skills by saying one of the words you've learned back to them. If they like the word that you said, they might even give you a gift. Sometimes this can even be S-class modules, which early game can really help you out. Modules can be installed by pressing the relevant button on your platform and then dragging it into an empty technology slot. If you see a traveller, they look like holograms, you need to speak to them twice. On the second time you can ask where they came from for 100 nanites. Follow the coordinates for their grave and you're going to unlock a glyph. We don't need it for this guide, so don't worry if you don't find any, but it will help with unlocking portals later in the game. On the right hand side you can find a bar area through this door with more aliens you can speak with, and there's another trade terminal. You can buy emergency signal scanners from this scrap dealer. It's going to give you the location of a derelict freighter that you can raid, but we'll cover this in another video. Then we have 4 module merchants. The first is for your multi-tool. Every station has a multi-tool that you can buy on the left of the merchant and an upgrade machine on the right. The next merchant sells ship modules. I'm going to get this hyperdrive upgrade for now so I can jump to systems further away. Then there's the exocraft merchant. If you see a module that you like, feel free to grab it. And finally there's the exosuit merchant. You can use this machine on the left to increase your suit slots. You can only upgrade it once per station, so make sure that you do upgrade it at every station that you visit. Then down the bottom here we have starship outfitting. This is where you come to either upgrade or scrap your spaceship. And then right in the corner here we've got the appearance modifier, but I'm going to stay the way I am for this guide. Head back to your base through the teleporter, interact with the computer, and you're going to be given some new coordinates. This time they'll lead to a crashed freighter. You'll definitely be able to see this one from your ship. Interact with its terminal and you'll learn to make a hyperdrive. Install it, and then this is going to enable us to travel between different systems. You'll now be prompted to follow the antimatter trace, but whilst you're here you're going to want to loot all of the cargo drops. Some are behind damaged panels, others you're going to have to dig underground to get, and as with most things you can locate them using your visor. Following the antimatter trace will bring you to one of these abandoned buildings. Outside you'll find these whispering eggs. You can either mine or shoot them, and they're going to drop lava cores which you want to pick up fast or they're going to disappear. As soon as you shoot them, biological horrors are going to come up out of the ground and start attacking you. Even if you kill one, another one's going to spawn, so just keep running around avoiding them until you've harvested all the eggs. You can go inside to recharge your shields or up on the roof if you need to, and they're not going to be able to get you whilst you're there. These lava cores can either be sold for a hefty profit or refined into 50 nanites each, but just keep hold of them for now. Inside the building, interact with this haunted terminal to get the blueprint for antimatter. Head into your inventory and make 4 antimatter, 4 antimatter housing, and then we can craft 4 warp cells, and that's everything what we need in order to jump to a new system. Without any scanners on our ships, we don't have much information on what systems are like. For now, just travel to whatever system's been highlighted, and it's generally going to be heading towards the galactic core. Once you get there, you'll be given more coordinates that will lead you to an alien monolith. Remember to interact with all 3 knowledge stones, and then interact with the heart of the anomaly. After answering some questions, you'll be given a warp cell. I didn't run this bit multiple times, so it is possible that there's a greater reward if you pick correct answers, but I don't know. Now head to the system space station, learn all the words, upgrade your inventory, see if there's any modules that you want. Make sure to keep 2,890 nanites for phase 3. Warp to a new system and answer the transmission. This time you'll be given coordinates to a crashed ship. We're going to be able to repair this and claim it as our own. As you're coming in, you should be able to scout it from the sky. Unlock the distress beacon and you'll get the plans to craft an advanced mining laser, and we're going to install that straight away. Claim and repair the ship. You should already have the materials you need. It's just the launch thruster and pulse drive that we want to fix. and then we're going to be able to take it up to the space station and scrap it. You're going to need around 10 empty slots in your inventory, so just stick some stuff in your original ship if you need to, and it's going to spawn up to the space station when we scrap this new one. As you get into space, you're going to receive a call from Priest Entity Nada telling you to board the anomaly. Just pulse drive to the space station now and we can call the anomaly over to us once we're ready. On the screen now is a full list of materials that you need to finish this guide. Make sure to watch the entire video before you start farming though, because I'm going to show you how you can refine oxygen into other resources in just a moment. In the space station, come over to the Starship outfitting machine and scrap your new ship. You'll get scrap items like the subatomic regulators or spools of nano cables that I got here, and then you need to sell them at the trade terminal to get your units. You should have enough to buy 16 wiring looms, but if not, sell some of the lava cores to make up the difference, and then you can either sell or refine the rest of them into nanites. It's up to you. If you have any units left over, you can buy any materials that you need. When you scrap your ship, you're also going to get a couple of modules. You can either use these to upgrade your other ships, or you can sell them for nanites. When you have a steady income of units, scrapping ships is a really good way to farm nanites and modules, and I'll cover this in a later video. Remember to learn a word from every alien if you haven't hit the 30-word milestone yet. As with every space station, you want to come over and upgrade your inventory space, then fly back into space, open your quick menu, and then you can now call the anomaly over to where you are. On board the anomaly, follow the quest marker to speak with Nada, Polo, Helios, and Ares. The last two should give you some more nanites as well. Come up to this room at the end of the corridor, and on the back left side here is another terminal that you can use to upgrade your exosuit inventory. It's the same deal as the space station, only one slot per system, so you really want to make sure to upgrade it in the space station and the anomaly in every system that you go to. You can choose whether you want to upgrade your technology slots or your cargo slot. For now, go with cargo, and then you can upgrade the technology bays as you get more modules. From the exosuit upgrades, we want the hazmat glove and the personal refiner. From the construction research center, we want the oxygen harvester and the medium refiner. From the Starship upgrades, we want the teleport receiver. You can unlock this for free later, but I like to get it now so we can grab the trade scanner straight away. You also want the cadmium drive, allowing you to go to a new type of star system. You can see another two types of drive after it. Each drive needs a metal that's exclusive to the system type before it to craft. The Infraknife is a good weapon for your ship, and the phase beam can be used to charge your ship's shields by draining their enemies. For the product recipes, we want to learn the microprocessor, the quantum computer, the magnetic resonator, and the Atlas Pass version 1. For your multi-tool, learn the waveform recycler and survey device. The scatter blaster is my weapon of choice, and I like to use the combat scope with it to lower the recoil. You might need to change the focus back to the space anomaly mission and then go and speak to Nada again. If you come up here, we have the teleporter. The great thing about this one is after you use it, you can fast travel back to the anomaly using the quick menu. It can come in really handy if you need to run back out to grab a few more salvage data or something. Over in the corner here is the multi-tool decommissioning machine, similar to scrapping your ship, but you're probably not going to need to use it until later in the game. And finally, down the bottom here, you've got the Nexus. This is where you can get missions to complete. On the weekend, there's a timed mission that gives you 1,800 Quicksilver, and then there's also daily ones that give you 400 as well. You can interact with the Quicksilver Synthesis Companion to exchange your rewards for building parts, gestures, appearances, and other curiosities. After you leave the anomaly, you'll receive another call. Once it's over, head to the nearest teleporter and get back to your base, and then interact with your computer. First, it's going to teach you a storage container. Make sure to hook it up to your power once you've placed it, and you might need to store some of your stuff to give yourself room to craft. Then you need to make 3 antimatter, 14 dihydrogen jelly, 5 life support packs, and 21 metal plates. Place your oxygen harvester, put some fuel in it, then place your medium refiner, and now we're going to refine oxygen into other resources. If you put oxygen in by itself, it refines 1-to-1 into carbon. Condense the carbon and then put it back through with the oxygen, and now you're getting 6 condensed carbon for every 2 oxygen and 1 condensed carbon refined. And then put the condensed carbon through by itself if you need regular carbon for crafting. You can refine oxygen with sodium 1-to-1 into sodium nitrate, and then sodium nitrate and oxygen 1-to-2 into sodium sodium nitrate. You can refine oxygen with cobalt 2 to 5 into ionized cobalt, and then 2 oxygen and 1 ionized cobalt into 6 ionized cobalt. This can be pretty profitable if you need some quick cash. And finally, we can refine oxygen and silver 1 to 2 into paraffinium. Now craft 9 carbon nanotubes, 9 microprocessors, 3 magnetic resonators, 1 quantum computer, 6 ion batteries, and the Atlas Pass version 1, and that's going to give you access to more loot as you're exploring. Now install your personal refiner and hazmat glove, interact with your computer again, build the solar panel and battery, and then connect them up to your existing circuit. Back to the computer, this time you'll get a module that you can install, and then head over to your ship and install the teleport receiver, the cadmium drive, the phase beam, the infraknife accelerator, and the economy scanner. Hit up your computer again. This time you're going to need to install the neurostimulator. Basically, you just want to keep going back to the computer, and then eventually it's going to give you some more coordinates. You'll get the efficient thrusters, a shield lattice, and then some more structures for your base. And once you put down the landing pad, you should get the coordinates we're after. Before you head off, install the combat scope, the scatter blaster, the waveform recycler, and the survey device on your multi-tool. The survey device allows you to find power, mineral and gas hotspots with your visor, which we can then extract. They range from C to S tier, which you can see on the left side of your visor. To find out what resource it is, you need to follow the signal to the source and scan it up close. From space, open up your galaxy map. You want to find the system that's got this dome inside a yellow square, and then warp to that. It's going to lead you to another one of these abandoned buildings. Make sure to grab all the lava cores whilst you're here. The scatter blaster makes short work of the biological horrors, but they do keep spawning, so I'd only worry about the ones that are directly in your way. Then head inside and interact with the terminal. You'll get a module, and then head back to base and repeat this step with another abandoned building. The planet that was marked for me happens to be experiencing an extreme storm as I was landing. During these storms you can find storm crystals. As soon as you find a planet with these on, I highly recommend building a small base there so you can teleport back to them at any time. Storm crystals can either be sold for a really good profit, or you can learn the recipe to craft them into warp hypercores. You should have quite a few of the lava cores by now. Unless you've seen something you desperately want that costs nanites, I'd just sell them for units for now. You should get 3 to 4 million units, which is a good starting point to start trading as you jump in between systems. When you're looking at the map, you can see a system has up to 3 stars, and that represents its economy. 3-star systems are going to bring greater profits when trading there, so that's something to keep in mind when choosing a new system to jump to. There's just one last thing I want to show you now, and that's as you walk for the 5th time, you're going to spawn into a space fight where you'll need to help defend a freighter from pirates. After you defeat them, you'll receive a call from the freighter's captain telling you to come aboard. If you look through your visor, you can see what class the ship is. This one's B class. When you get up to the captain, you can either claim the freighter for free, or you can collect a reward instead. The first freighter that you claim will always be free, so you might want to hold out for an A or an S class. You'll warp into a freighter battle every 5 warps, providing 3 hours of game time has passed. Otherwise it will spawn on the first warp after that timer is finished. This was my ultimate starter guide for No Man's Sky. If you watched it all the way to the end, I'm guessing you found it useful, so please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future content. Thanks for watching.